Hello, good morning, good evening, and welcome to Bigg World Cinema. Without further ado, we'll continue with what you're here for. And to ensure this channel survives, please don't skip the ads. Thank you.
I'm in a taxi on the way to Hoi An. From Da Nang to Hoi An. It's 12 o'clock, should take around an hour, 30 kilometres. This will be my fifth time going to Hoi An. I normally spend more time in Hoi An than Da Nang on the previous occasions I've been. I have to get a taxi. I have no choice. There are no buses to Hoi An at the moment since COVID, so I have to take a taxi. The cost of which is 300,000 dong. So just over 10 quid or $12 to go to Hoi An. So I'll be back here on Friday when I get my flight out of the country after 31 days in Vietnam.
I first went there in 2004, then 2009. On my third visit in March 2018, the road from Da Nang was a dirt track as it was being resurfaced. I'd just been backpacking through southern India and the whole of Sri Lanka, where I realised I didn't like too many pit stops anymore. I needed to live in a place for a while. Future travelling would entail picking fewer places and staying longer, although that logic appeared to have gone out the window when I recently spent 4 months travelling around the Philippines. Anyway, back in 2018, I was stopping off in Vietnam prior to returning to Blighty after 6 months escaping the UK winter. And conscious that I'd probably have sand kicked in my face having neglected working out, I'd chosen to stay in a guest house that was close to a gym in Hoi An. This wasn't a run-down Indian gym, but a high-tech Western-style gym. So I bought 24 passes for around 20 quid. I had a huge room in a guest house that included complimentary breakfast and water for 10 quid a night. The staff here were welcoming. Each morning I'd be sat at the dining table at 7:30 a.m. and a Vietnamese lady would arrive and serve me omelette with banh mi. I'd have a protein shake and walk the narrow back streets for 10 minutes to the gym nearby. The following day I'd get up even earlier, head to the gym to do yoga, then return for my breakfast at the guest house. I continued this routine for 21 consecutive mornings, alternating between gym work or yoga. Each morning I'd say, "How are you?" to the lovely Vietnamese lady who cooked me breakfast, and she'd respond, "Very well, thank you." That was all the English she knew. But she'd sit at the table with me, showing me photographs of her child and trying to connect. One morning I was feeling a bit moody and failed to address the lady when she entered. She sat down at the table and said, "I'm very well, thank you." When I'd leave the house each day, the old fellow who tended the garden would make faces at me, showing me his missing front tooth. My guest house was great, but my balcony was shared with neighbours, which was a little annoying. I thought of finding alternatives. I could have got somewhere better for the same price with my own sunny balcony. But having agreed a price for 21 nights, I felt locked in. At the gym I met a friendly Scottish guy around my age who'd lived in Australia most of his life, but had recently settled with his wife in Hoi An, which gave me food for thought. Monsters. It felt great rebuilding my body, though tiring. After a shower and lie down, I'd head out for a protein-packed lunch at a Western-style burger cafe called Kebab Shack, owned by a British guy, where other travellers congregated, but I kept my distance. Hoi An was a good traveller centre for getting Western food. Vietnamese street food wasn't providing enough calories, especially after the heavy weightlifting I was doing. Needing to replenish my muscles, I was eating grilled chicken and chips or tandoori chicken and rice. Some days at Kebab Shack I'd have a chicken and a pork kebab for lunch. After lunch I'd spend a couple of hours walking around town taking photographs. Hoi An is a great place for photography. Women in their conical hats selling their vegetables in the market, cyclists and motorbikes laden down with people or products, the propaganda billboards, colourful painted buildings lit by street lanterns. It was great how in Hoi An I'd slipped into a perfect rhythm of going to the gym, walking and reading. If that was all I could do each day, that would be ideal. It takes a lot to beat that for the perfect day. On my last morning at the guest house, I bought the Vietnamese lady who provided breakfast a bunch of flowers. I felt sad leaving the place after 3 weeks. I wasn't going back there this trip, however. I chose a different guest house just around the corner. For those who watched my Da Nang videos, maybe all 3 of you, I imagined that Nur, the Vietnamese receptionist, might be at the reception of my hotel in Hoi An, as she'd been working at the previous 2 Da Nang hotels I'd stayed at, like Groundhog Hotel. She wasn't there, however. So these are the lovely ladies at the new place that I'm staying. There. And this is my room. 425,000 dong, which is just under 15 quid. As you're all tired of hearing me saying, the Vietnamese do great hotels at affordable prices. Look at these wooden storage units. I've even got oh dear, I've even got my own dressing gown. TV, fridge, large bed. As much as you read hotel reviews online, and I do, believe me, I can spend a couple of hours before deciding which hotel or guest house to book. But even though there might be a good review saying it's got a lovely balcony, sure, but what does the balcony look out over? Arriving at the guest house, I was anxious to get on with my work. I was behind. I'm always behind, always playing catch up with my past. The room I'd been allocated was great, but didn't have a desk. It had a fridge. It had coffees. It had a lovely balcony. But no desk, so I had to improvise. I'd been spoiled at the hotels I stayed at in Nha Trang and Da Nang. My lovely balcony did catch the afternoon sun all afternoon, but didn't have much of a view. I was glad to be back in Hoi An and walked down to the old town to re-familiarise myself with the place.
Der Typ hier. Okay, oder? Der mit die 100.000er Blitzknopf. Hi, so auf. Anh con nào? Bố thật đấy. It's legal or not legal? Mua bánh.
Mua thì chắc về bát là cho bé Ngọc.
Cái bị đòi ra cái đường một sân không nào bị đòi không mà có phải rồi
Đó.
Cứ đi qua tàu đi. Đi lấy hả thầy? Có hổ. Chạy có mình à.
It's okay. Hello. Where are you from?
I'm from Vietnam. I'm from Vietnam.
Whereabouts? Which place?
Bình Định.
Just a quick reminder to please click the thumbs up button if you liked the video, or thumbs down button if you didn't, obviously. Thank you. The streets of the old town are great to amble, although you really need to be on your toes, thinking that the streets are pedestrian only, as a convoy of cyclo-rickshaws will suddenly appear ferrying lazy passengers. What I hadn't forgotten was how touristy Hoi An is. Like, is every other tourist site in Vietnam closed today? Because Hoi An is mobbed. I thought there were loads of foreign tourists in Saigon, but in Hoi An, even more so. It's probably more noticeable with Hoi An being just a small city with only 150,000 residents, as Hoi An receives around 4 million visitors per year. As I was walking around, I could distinctly hear a dominance of voices from the UK. The UK must be empty now, I thought, with holidaymakers escaping the chill back home, like I've often done in the past. It gets especially busy around sunset, when the colourful lanterns are switched on. And suddenly, Hoi An becomes the most photogenic place on earth. Allegedly.
Làm này không làm được. Chị không còn cái tên không?
Đã nhảy đúng không?
Chào tháp chào tiên ơi.
Just watching the video is pointless unless you subscribe. If you like the video, please could you like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to ding the notification bell to see my videos before your friends. See you on the next video. Take care everyone.